This time I am going to make some heart earrings. I have white clay, magenta clay, this color, yep, it's called magenta, and this one is called powder pink. I don't know how I feel about those matching together, but maybe I can break it up with the white, with the idea that I have in mind. I am going to take the powder pink clay since it's already open. And grab my cutters. I will need 3 cutters. I will need a large heart, a medium heart, and a small heart. This is going to be the base color for this first pair of earrings, and what I'll do is a couple variations of the same earring. And my station is pretty clean, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll pick out any little pieces I see in the clay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll out this pink clay with my fondant roller. All of the hearts will be this 1/8 thickness of the blue band. Okay. This is one of my colors, the powder pink. I will need 2 large hearts. Two medium hearts. And 2 of these small hearts. Since I have extra clay in the powder pink, and most of my colors it looks like I will have extra clay, I'm going to cut 2 additional medium hearts for another pair of earrings. Okay. So now I'm going to remove, there we go, the excess. You could keep it flat or you could go ahead and ball it up. I like to make mine into a rectangle. Move these out of the way. There. Now I'm going to remove each of the hearts from my work surface. And I am going to smooth the edges. That's one way I do it. Another way is I take one of my tools and smooth the edges like that. And this one works pretty well with it being a silicone tool. And I know a lot of people don't like the metal cutters because it has this lip that it leaves behind, but I really don't mind. So I'm just going to take it and smooth it around. There we go. This is my baking paper, and the large pieces I'm going to go ahead and set on the baking paper. Okay. Now I'm going to set these to the side now that I have them smoothed. And these pieces I'm going to leave on my work surface. There's a lot of different ways you can smooth edges, but this is one way that I do it because I already have to drill holes after. A lot of times I don't feel like sanding. And then some of these pieces, if you're stacking them, there's no way to sand afterwards. So you would need to smooth the edges before you stack them on top of each other. There we go. Now I am going to take the white clay and roll it out. And I'm just scraping the clay off of my work surface and cleaning the blade off lightly so I don't cut myself with a piece of translucent. Okay. Now I'm going to take opposite colors and make a 3D heart. Or, I guess 3D. I want it to look like the heart is pumping kind of. So I'm going to stack white on top of pink, and then white, and then pink on top of white, and then white on the top. So I'll grab whatever's closest. And I'm going to try to center it the best that I can, but these hearts aren't symmetrical. Especially the small ones. You can see one side is bigger than the other, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to take the medium size and place it on top of the larger size. That's cute. I like that already. You know, it's not even complete yet. And I think to press it down on top of one another, I'm going to texture that heart just a little bit. Just like that. That's cute. Then I'll do the same thing for this one. Press the texture down. And then I will take the mini pink heart and stick that right in the middle. Just like that. And then I will do the same for this one. And for my holes, since I cannot find my needle, I'll just use the wire I used earlier to poke a hole. One on the left and one on the right. And this will help with drilling holes later on. Now I'll do the white. It'll be the same technique, just in a different colorway. They all have holes in them now, and so now I can bake them. These will be dangles, and that is the reason why the holes are on opposite sides for your left ear and your right ear. Okay, I took the pieces out of my toaster oven. And this is how they turned out. We have, it sets the paper a little bit. These will be the dangles. And these will also be dangles. I'm not adding a post or anything. I'll just be adding a fish hook and a jump ring. But there'll be a different type of dangle. Like a single dangle. I don't know if that's a thing, but it'll be one today. And it's stuck to the paper, and I can just take some water and rub the paper off the back when I get ready. I'm not really worried about it right now. And I think, yeah, this side is fine to continue baking on since it's not ripped. But whenever it's ripped like this, if it's flappy, then it's kind of hard to use, so you can avoid that side or just flip it over to the other side. And here I will need to make these holes bigger because it doesn't really show through on the other side. And so I will use my drill to drill a hole in the side of each earring. And I like to do that before I coat them because I can always poke the hole out later. And so first we'll finish these earrings and then we'll make the other dangles. And there's quite a few bubbles, but I have a way to fix that, which I will show you. There's a few different ways, but I'm only going to show you one. It won't take the bubbles away, but it'll add something different. And this was the Primo clay that did a lot of bubbling. And this is the one that normally has a lot of bubbles, but because I didn't manipulate it a lot, it looks perfectly fine. So I'm going to drill holes in all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in all 8 of my pieces, and then I will assemble. Okay, first we'll assemble what I call my heart pumping earrings, and all I need for that are a few jump rings, my pliers, my chain nose and bent nose pliers, and some earring hooks. So I'm going to check the backs for paper. I think the white ones are fine. It was just the pink ones because they were softer, the softer clay than that white Primo clay, and so they did stick a little bit. That peeled right off, so that one's fine. But this one, it looks like I can just pick that off. Probably just use my tweezers to pull it. Yeah, that's fine, no big deal. Okay. So, now I will assemble them. First, I'm going to open up all 4 of my jump rings. Okay, here are the finished heart pumping earrings. I don't know if I'm going to keep that name, but I kind of like it. I like the colorway of the white on pink. This one, I like these colors better, I think, but I like the finish of these a lot better. And you don't see any bubbles because there was a lot less manipulation. Then with this clay, there's a lot going on, especially because it's white, so it's just showing everything. But with the textures, you get a better finish, at least to me, you do. So these are the first set of earrings. Next, we have these, which they're looking how they're looking. And so I'm just going to go with it. What I decided to do was take the pink quartz liquid mica and the silver liquid mica, and I am going to coat each one of these pieces. I haven't decided if I want to do silver on white and pink on pink, or silver on pink and pink on white. I think I'll do that because that's something different that I probably would not do. One thing that I will show you is, since I'm going to coat these anyway, there's no reason for me to do everything twice. So instead of coating these with liquid mica and then sealing them, I am just going to go ahead and add my sealer to add my liquid mica to my sealer. Then that way it's only a small step that I have to do. So now I am going to grab my tray that I use when I am glazing my clay. I'm going to move some of this out of the way so that I can work a little smarter and not harder. Use Grand Finale Clear Gloss by Crystalac. It's the same company that makes the liquid mica, and this particular coating, it's non-toxic, FDA compliant, and you can use it on a lot of materials like metal, glass. A lot of people use this to make tumblers, and that's what it's made for. But I use it to coat my polymer clay earrings. And I'm just going to mix it a little bit slowly because it creates a lot of bubbles if you don't mix slowly. So, okay, now I'm going to add my pieces to my coating tray. That is not a technical name, but it will be today. Let's see. Okay, I'll just move these over right under the light. It'll make it easier to see. So my palette needs a little clean. I'm going to take one of these alcohol wipes and wipe it out again. I just cleaned it, but there are still a few particles left. And I'll clean out each of the wells. There we go. There. Okay, so now I'm going to take the Grand Finale and add it to my wells. Just a tiny bit in each one. I don't need very much for these small pieces. Now I'm going to add a little pink quartz and a little silver to one of the wells to tint my Grand Finale. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of the liquid mica. It does not take very much, it's very concentrated, so you don't need very much. There, that should be enough. And I'm going to swirl it around in the Grand Finale. There we go. like that. Yes, I like that sheen, that color. I feel like it's pigmented enough. And I'm just going to wipe the tip of this off before sticking it into my silver. If you ever buy this, make sure you close it up because it will dry across the top and get super thick, as you will see with the silver. Like it's a lot thicker. And so now I'm going to take the silver right off the cap and add it to my other well of Grand Finale to tint it. I'm still experimenting with the brushes to see which ones I like. So I'm just going to take this fluffy one and I will dip it into the silver first and grab my needle tool, and I'm going to coat the pink in silver. And it adds a nice shine. So I'm going to go in for the rest. As you can see, it's gone because I only mixed a little for these two small pieces. And I'm just sticking my needle tool in the hole. It helps to keep your pieces still, and it also helps to make sure that you're not getting a lot of product in the holes. The grand finale for me, if I do thin coats, I don't get as many bubbles, but I did put a thick coat on this one, so I'm just going to brush those bubbles out. And that's it. It's pretty, it's shiny. I don't have to go back and add a coating to it because it's already done. And it covered up some of those imperfections because it was a lot of bubbles. And what I'll do a lot of times is just flip these over to the back and brush a little on the back as well, but these need to dry first. And it takes 2 hours. So before you recoat, you have to wait 2 hours. After these are dry, I will show you how I assemble them. Now I am going to finish the other set of dangles. I made them so that I poke the holes on opposite sides, so while they're in your ear, they'll kind of mirror each other. And so I'm just going to swap these around because I need the hole in the white clay to go here. So that's where that'll dangle, and that is where that one will dangle. So now I'm going to grab some jump rings, and I'm going to get my largest size jump rings because I want it to dangle when I add them to add the white clay to the pink. Just adding each piece, and you can call them charms if you want because technically they are charms, and you're just piecing them together. I'm adding each one of my clay charms to my jump ring. And then now I will do them for the other side. And I messed up because I don't like to add my jumper ring to the front, mainly because when I go to close it, you will rub up against the coating on the front most likely, and I don't want that chance messing it up, and so I'm going to make the fronts face each other and then close my jumper ring. Now, I'm looking at how these dangle, and I'm going to face them away from me to see which side I want them to dangle on. So I don't want them with the heart, with the white heart. I don't want them to bump up against my cheek. I want them away from my cheek. That way they have a better chance at dangling and you can see the dip in the white heart. So this will be my left earring and this will be my right earring. And I grabbed extra jump rings so that I can add them to the top of each pink one before adding my fish hook on. So now I will add my jump ring. And then depending on whether you have the left or right, I add my fish hook a specific direction. And so what I'll do, since this is my left earring, I'm facing it left, and then I'm going to hold it up to see if it dangles correctly. And if it doesn't, I'll swap it around. Let's see. Okay, so for this one, the hook is facing left, so it'll go in your right ear. So I'm going to take this off and swap my hook around to the other side, so that the hook is facing right to go through your left ear. And if you don't understand what I mean, take a pair of your earrings and face the hooks opposite directions and look at yourself in the mirror to see which direction your hook or your earrings are facing. That's a good practice. And so now it's facing right since this is the left ear. And it only matters if you're trying to mirror your earring. These are identical. Even though I have the hole on different sides, I would want to go back and check that. But if they were in the center, it wouldn't matter. But since I have a left and right, that would be something that you would want to check out. So now I will add my second earring and then we'll be done. Or add my second earring to the jump ring. And so since this hook is facing right, this hook is going to face left. See, like that. There. So these are the completed dangly. I'm just going to call these the dangly earrings. My heart dangles. And these are my finished heart pumping earrings. These are pretty. I like the sparkles, but I like these because I love layered looks. And since these are layered, of course, they are my favorite. So thank you for making with me. I know it wasn't much of a tutorial, but just a nice make with me so you can kind of get the background of why some people make the choices they do. Maybe it's similar to how you make your earrings. Maybe it's different. And I will add some ear nuts which are the earring backs. They're called ear nuts. I have silicone ear nuts, which I add to my fish hooks. Some people don't wear them. Some people wear them just fine and they don't fall out, but I like to have a little bit of security. Thank you for watching.